Hey, funny homies, it's week 13, and on today's show, we discuss this past week's injuries, who to add, who to drop, buy, sell, who's hot, who's not, and so much more. Are you ready? Let's go. Hello, welcome to another fantastic episode of the Fake Football Guy Show. I'm your host, Giancarlo Campos, and alongside me is the greatest co-host of all time, Dustin Dialingame. What up, DL?
What up, my guy?
What's going on, bro? We
Living the
are
dream.
the day another dollar. Same, man. Same, bro. Same. Let me adjust my camera here. I don't like the level of center here. You know, going on the fly. DL, how was your past week? How you doing?
Okay, so some interesting news. I don't know if you guys knew this or not, but I was on a local radio station, WRMN 1410 AM. So I was in there for their fantasy football segment, and I crushed it. And I was so excited to show it, but their YouTube channel dropped out. It was really weird. So, yeah, it sucks. It sucked, bro. But anyways, it was really good though because I think it definitely helped us get some more views, and they're gonna invite me back when they need me. But
Nice.
Hopefully some of you guys tune in. I don't know if you did or didn't, or if you saw it in time or listened to AM radio, but if you were,
I do listen to AM. Yeah, our brother and I listen to AM radio. I have some friends that listen to it when the music goes kind of stale in the car. You're like, 670 to score. 1,000, ESPN 1,000, whatever. So it's kind of how that goes. But I do listen to sports talk radio. I actually call in sometimes. I just have a different moniker, which I will never share.
That. I've never done that.
Yeah, I'll never share. Oh man, you should hear my brother, bro. He has the best Chicago accents, the best like fake radio caller voices. Bro, my brother does it. My brother does a bit like even to us, like when we're just chilling, he'll do a hey, this is a Highway Rob calling. It's just stupid, man. It's dumb. But anyway. DL, let's pay some bills here. DL, let's remind the people at home where they can follow us on Twitter.
Tweet FFG.
And if you want to use if you want to get a question answered, you can use the hashtag DL.
Ask us FFG.
Pretty easy. DL, also want to let you know that you can send emails. DL, what's that beautiful email inbox that you created? What is that email?
Simple. Ask us, ffg@gmail.com.
Man, I'm going to send in your demo tape, but it's just going to be you making that same read over and over and over again.
Yeah.
I can do it. Yeah. Lastly, DL, if people don't have email, don't have Twitter, or prefer to just send over a text, make a wayward call, send over a sext. Who knows? What is that phone number, DL?
Sucks. 708-655-4508. Call anytime. The phone lines are always open 24 hours, 7 days a week. And in fact, when you're watching football this Thursday, because it's Thanksgiving, make sure you let JC know how well you're doing in your fantasy lineup, or how bad, whichever you prefer.
Please do. I cannot wait to hear it. All right, man. We are pretty close. Oh, what's going on here?
I just wanted to show the people the new website that went out for Old School Media. It has all of the channels on here, including the fake football guys. So you simply click on that and it takes you over to our Facebook page. And then, you can see all our upcoming shows that we have going on. And just to let everyone know, we produce our own shows. So Old School Sports Media isn't producing it, but they're simply just helping us out with getting the word out. So just want to throw that out there.
That's right. Nice free advertising.
Yeah.
I do want to go over something here with you. How are you doing in your leagues before we get into the nitty-gritty?
Wow, bro. So let's see. In our home league, or my home league, I'm in second place, right? So I have clinched. I've clinched the playoffs. However, now
really, let me see.
Yeah,
pull that up.
Dude, I'll show you. Now it's all about I got to stay in second because I really want that bye. And I don't want to deal with it. However, we'll get to studs. Well, however, I have both J.K. Dobbins and Brian Robinson Jr. And they both got injured this week, so that sucks. So, anyways, in my other leagues, let's see. I clinched the play. I'm number 1 in my standard league of 12 people, which is awesome. Haven't clinched because I lost a couple weeks in a row now, so some people are catching up. But I'm still number 1 on everyone's hearts. And then in my brutal 14-man league, I'm in 5th place. So
nice.
Yeah. What about you?
Well, I'm still in the running in your league. I've rattled off, I think, 3 or 4 straight wins. I am at the 6th position. I don't know if 6 teams make it to the playoffs. Is that right?
Yep, you're right on the. You're like you made it.
I'm on the bubble. I'm on it right now, but bubble could burst.
You got to win. You got 2 more weeks.
Bubble could burst, bro.
Maintain or move on up, but. I was looking at your roster because I was like, man, JC, because I'm not gonna take away from your studs, but I was looking at, I was like, all right, he's got some. I should have made that trade for Isaiah Pacheco because I have Kareem Hunt. It's another thing I'm dealing with, and any day now, any day.
I'm about to drop Xavier Worthy right now, like straight up right now as we speak. So he's gone. And I'll bring Pacheco off waivers. Thank you so much for reminding me about that. Other leagues, DL, I am either in 2nd place, 3rd place, 4th place, 5th place, or 6th place. I am in the running in every single league. I have not been eliminated in any leagues, fantasy-wise.
Nice.
Yeah. So
out of 7? All right.
Out of 7, yeah. So I'm alive for now. Anything could happen. Some leagues I have to win. I have to win out, but I'm not eliminated in any. Love to see it. Nice little chunk of change if we can win that. Maybe we'll celebrate together if we can win that. All right, yeah. We have another jam-packed. Yeah.
Real quick. Phony homies, tell us how you're doing. Go ahead and throw it in the chat. If you made it, if you're on the bubble, or if you're just drowning your sorrows for the rest of the season, throw it in the chat. All right, go ahead. We got a jam-packed show. Throw it in the chat. Yeah,
jam-packed show. Remember to like, share, subscribe, and
smash
the notification button. That way you know when we go live. We're on YouTube, we're on Instagram, we're currently on Facebook, and anywhere that you listen to your podcast. DL Jam Pack Show. Again, let's get started with studs and duds. DL.
Yes.
Who was your stud this past week?
So, yeah, I'm just talking about my team. We're not talking overall, just because that would take forever. But for myself, AJ Brown had 109 yards, 6 receptions with 1 touchdown, which was awesome. Devon Achane had 2 receiving touchdowns. Heck yeah, let's go, baby! 32 yards on the ground and 3 receptions. And then really, I only won 2 out of my 4 leagues. So rounding it off, I had Bucky Irving, 87 yards rushing, 64 yards receiving, and a tutty. For those dud category was pretty much the Arizona Cardinals. They they just pooped the bed. They did not do well. So Kyler Murray was definitely a dud of mine. He struggled, man. He was intercepted. Sorry, I'm pulling up the data. So he only went for 285 yards, 1 interception, and rushed for 9 rushing yards. So big flat womp womp womp. And then I would say also Malik Neighbors, but I mean honestly, like I'm not too surprised on that. But also like Connor, man, like he didn't have a good game either. So Arizona Cardinals. But I will say that I had a kicker that was a stud of mine that I completely forgot. And that was Cameron Dicker, the kicker.
Yo.
Dude, 16 points, dude. He made 2 50-plus yard field goals. And 2 extra points. So 16 points. But JK screwed me. What about you? Sorry.
Oh, man, I had the luck of the Irish here. My stud this past week, none other than Saquon Barkley. That's right. I have him in 1 league and only 1 league. And, man, that guy carried me.
What league is that?
Stupid, huge league. Oh, your league. Believe it or not, your league. Yeah, honestly, he's the reason why I won that matchup. Saquon finished with 255 rushing yards and 47 receiving yards. He had a total of 302 all-purpose yards. Yeah.
Dang.
Bro, that's fucking insane. 302. Some offenses, they can't get 250. Imagine 200. Imagine he had 302 by himself.
Yeah.
Insane. Yeah, he's the MVP of the league for me right now. Let's just throw that out there.
Oh, absolutely.
Other stud I had was Will Lutz, the kicker. Now, Will Lutz, he went 5 for 5 in one of my leagues, made 4 40-plus yard field goals and 1 30-something yarder, and finished with a total of 22 fantasy points. I was in shock, honestly. I couldn't believe it. I streamed him off waivers this past week. So, dude,
nice.
Anytime you can get anything over 10 points from a kicker anything you can get more than 8 or 9 points is a godsend from a kicker. 22, insane.
Which is a good point to all the phony homies out there that like kickers and defense actually are a big deal. Check this out. Nick Johnson agrees with Dicker the kicker, and Bucky Irving saved his life this week. Yeah, bro. I actually traded Bucky Irving and JSN, and they both did really, really well. So glad I have George Kittle now. Anyways, thanks, John. Thank Nick for chiming in. Go ahead. Sorry.
All right, let me go over my duds deal before anything else here. My dud of the week was Jaden Reed. Unfortunately, Jaden Reed the last few weeks has been very up and down. He's still a top 11 or 12 wide receiver in the league, fantasy-wise, however you slice it. But he finished with 3 receptions for a whopping 3 fantasy points, under 30 yards. So sucks right now. You never know who the Packers are going to throw to. 1 week it's Christian Watson. 1 week it's Jaden Reed or Tucker Kraft or Dontavian Wicks or you name the guy. Whatever guy this week is going to be the one. You never know. So hopefully he has.
I'm liking Watson this week. I am because Dobbs or Dubes is injured. So I think he might be a sneaky little grab. But you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. You never know because, I mean, what was it? A couple of weeks ago, I went up against someone who had Kraft in their lineup for tight end, and he got a whopping 0. Friggin' 0. So, yeah.
You never know. You never freaking know who's going to go off. DL, anything else you have to add?
No, not really. Not for Studs and Duds. I have some breaking news or news in general. Yeah, dang it, I say this every week. We gotta get. I'm getting us some interns, by the way. I'm getting us some interns.
Love
Yeah,
that.
bro. From the Illinois Media School. Shout out to you guys. So we're gonna get some TikToks, Reels, and maybe they'll put together a little news.
Maybe that would be awesome.
So Demarcus Robinson was arrested Monday morning in LA because of a DUI, bro. So it doesn't really have much fantasy issues, but that just sucks, bro. Like, why? I don't understand this. We've mentioned this on the show many, many times. You have so much money, you have so many options nowadays. Like, why are you doing that? Like, why are you just putting yourself?
I'll tell you why. Because sometimes you feel invincible when you're young, when you're in great shape, when you're making millions, and you feel invincible. You're like, you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna drive my sick ass car. Fuck yeah, I'm gonna go do this over here. I'm gonna have some drinks. Maybe I'll bring me home a honey. Who fucking knows? But I'm gonna drive. Oh, I'm good. I feel well, and that's what happens. Prayers up for Demarcus Robinson. Hopefully, he's good. Hopefully, he learns from this and hires chauffeur and uses
or Uber,
transport
Lyft,
in that way, or Uber. However,
taxi.
Hopefully it goes about it that way. It's just as much of a stunt if a chauffeur picks you up and you pull a honey, or a guy, whatever you're into, no judgment here. It's just as much of a stunt if you have a chauffeur, like that's my chauffeur. Yeah, let's go in my.
Sometimes
Wraith.
You drive a good point, because I'm saying this as a 41-year-old father, and like, you're an idiot, but little or pre-adult 21-year-old Dustin was probably like, yeah, let's go. So good point.
Imagine you like times 5, times 10 with millions of dollars. Imagine.
Oh shit. Yeah. Okay. All right. Good point.
Just throwing it out there. But just from a fantasy perspective, usually when we see these kinds of cases, you don't see any kind of suspension until the case is resolved. It's kind of how the NFL handles cases like this. Case in point, Jameson Williams, some of the things that he's been going through. There's a number of athletes that get in trouble with the law, and they allow due process. They allow the judicial system to take its place, run its course, and then once the judgment comes down, then the NFL hands down their punishment. So I don't think it'll affect him for this year from a fantasy perspective, but next year, keep that in mind.
Okay, so moving on, more drama going down. Who would have thought with Aaron Rodgers and the Jets there would be any sort of drama? But word on the street, or rumor mill, is that they're going to bench Aaron for the rest of the season. But I don't actually. I take that back, because I saw today that he's going to play this week. However, he did mention he doesn't know if he's going to play next year. That's kind of his MO. He does it every year. It's like he's got to go in a cave and do drugs and stuff. And then he comes out and then he lets you know, kind of like the groundhog. But he did say if he does want to play again or will play again, he's going to go back to the Jets. How thoughtful. How thoughtful.
Can I ask you a question?
That you ruined the whole team. You got the head coach, the GM fired. You brought your boys with you to get on the same team. Mm-hmm. And if you decide that you want to come back, you're going to continue to play with him. He's a dick, dude. I can't stand him. I really can't.
Yeah.
I can't stand him.
From a selfish standpoint, it's awesome seeing him crash and burn. It is a little tarnish on his legacy, but I do have a question for you.
Well, I got a question for you too. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. Here's my first question. Aaron Rodgers said he'll be the Jets' #1 option if he plays 2025. But should he be the Jets' first choice?
No. Absolutely fucking not. Do you know this? Thanks. Okay, so I'm going to add this. This year, it's kind of crazy because rookie quarterbacks that are playing this year, this has never happened before, but they're since 2008 to present. Majority of the rookie quarterbacks that are playing right now are in like the top 20 quarterbacks, not fantasy, NFL. It's never happened. It's never happened ever, like ever. Not all of them. So that goes. I don't think it's going to be a retrend. I don't think every year you should grab that rookie quarterback because you're hoping or you're chasing like a Jalen Daniels. Yeah, I said that right. Yes. But at the same time, man, I mean, like he's what, 40? I think he's 40, right? Because I think I'm a year older than he is. Something like that. He's old. and there's more talent around like league. Like
40.
there's so much talent, right? I get it. I'm not taking away from what he's done in like his career. And I mean, yes, I am a little bit bitter because he just tormented the Bears. However, like, dude, you haven't been looking good at all this whole year. So I don't understand like why you think, yeah, you're the guy. Like you're him. Dude, you have a worse record than Zach Wilson. Let that sink in a little bit.
Let me give you some names of available unrestricted free agents at quarterback. Joe Flacco.
I'd take him
Josh
over
Johnson,
Rodgers.
Andy Dalton, Russell Wilson, Jimmy Garoppolo, Jacoby Brissett. Let me give you some other guys. Sam Darnold potentially, Zach Wilson, Trey Lance,
Darnold,
Taylor.
Dude. Would he come back though? But would he come back to the Jets?
No, fuck no. If I'm him, like, hell no. After what happened there,
yeah, I'd be like,
hell no.
Kiss my motherfucker.
I would tell the Vikings, I'm gonna sign with you. Let me just fly over there so I could reject them. That's what I would tell them. Let them fly me over there, and I signed it. Don't announce anything. Let me just fly over there so I could just fucking reject them. I would,
yeah.
Oh my God.
Or just like keep them on the hook, like, let me think about it, and then just wait, wait, and then be like, no, I'm gonna stay with the Vikings. Ah!
It's like that one ex, where she's like, she says deuces to you, and then you end up going, doing your own thing, and you end up getting better and better and better, and then you go to another chick, and she's like, oh, I want you back. I see you on social media. You look so good now. No. See you later. You lost.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. Who are you? I actually did that one time. Exactly. I deleted this girl's like number and everything. It was before I met my wife, so it's not. And she like hit me up. She's like, "Yeah, I was just thinking about you." I'm like, "I'm sorry. Who is this?" And she's like, "You fucking asshole." I'm like, "I'm really sorry. I love it. I don't know who this is.
I love that.
I'm sorry." And then she dropped her name. I was like, "Oh yeah, that's why you're not on my phone." Yeah. Okay.
It's ridiculous.
You got it. You had your chance.
Exactly.
Okay.
Passed.
Moving on to other news, the Cowboys, Jerry Jones doesn't think giving Mike McCarthy an extension would be crazy at all. What are your thoughts? Is it crazy?
I don't know, man.
I mean, I do agree. I don't think it'd be crazy at all, especially in his world where he doesn't have shades for his he does have shades, but he doesn't use it to him when players are playing. And honestly, like their lineup is just a shitbag. Like all they have is they got CD. That's it.
They got CD. They got old boy in defense, the linebacker Micah Parsons. Okay. They got a few guys. They got a few little pieces here and there. A workable line.
Oh, they still got Dak because they signed him to a really big.
Dak didn't look great. Did he look good? I don't know. Showing his true colors. I feel like he's so up and down. You never know which version of Dak you're gonna get.
That's true.
Fucking sucks.
Last year it was really good. Anyways, long story longer. I don't know. I mean, it's like they don't really change they're not up to speed with the current trends. Let's just put it that way. Like they're just not like going after it, and I don't see any spark. Like they let people just like, we're fine. Oh, we'll bring back Zeke. We won't even bother trying to get Saquon or Joe Mixon or any of those guys. We'll just bring back Zeke, who played on the Patriots and sucked there. But he's gonna be great in Dallas. No. Let's get Dalvin Cook because he's going to be awesome.
Oh, what a fucking mess that was.
Let's
bench Rico Dowdle for I picked him up in league too.
Yeah. So it's just so
all this money.
I mean, he had his heyday in the 90s. I'm not saying he didn't. I'm not saying he. Yeah. Well, but was it him or was it Jimmy? I'm leaning towards Jimmy.
It sounds like it was Jimmy.
It was Jimmy, and he took the credit.
Yeah.
And
he did take the credit. Yeah. Good old Jerry Jones taking all the credit. Yeah. Is what it is. All right, DL. It's that time of the show. It's time for the one and only injuries. right, phony homies, it's time to get to the dock. He is pulling up. He actually didn't fly in today. Pulled up in a Bentley Antega, actually. I don't know where he's getting all his money, but the dock is ready. What's up, Doc?
Hello, Giancarlo.
How's that LASIK? I don't know why you're using glasses. How you got LASIK?
That's better.
All right. They're blue light glass. That's right. All right, Doc. Let's go ahead and begin. What is going on with the Arizona Cardinals?
We're going to start off with Kyler Murray, who got the wind knocked out of him. So he did head to the medical tent. Murray looked to be in pain and went into the medical tent for a little bit, but nothing else has come out, but something to monitor, I would say.
Okay. Interesting. Hopefully he's okay. And definitely has a really good, favorable fantasy playoff schedule moving forward. Just want to give you a quick heads up on a few of the teams that the Arizona Cardinals are playing coming up the remainder of the fantasy season. They have still to go the Vikings, which is a tough matchup. Then they have the Seahawks on the 8th of December, the Patriots, the Panthers, and the Rams. So do with that what you will. 4 of the next 5 games are with bottom half defenses. Some in like the bottom 10.
I'd buy that for $1.
Whatever,
RoboCop.
Don't remember that. Too old for me. Doc, what's going on in Carolina?
Jatavian Sanders was released from a local hospital after suffering a neck injury. Head coach Dave Canales said following his team's loss, Canales and Sanders is still being evaluated. So don't know if a lot of people had him in their lineup, but concussions are no joke. And typically what I've been noticing this year is that it's not like it's been in the past where they're just like, you're fine. Get back in there, kid. They're usually out for at least a week, at least. I've seen some people bounce back depending on the protocol, but this year I haven't really, I don't know if you've noticed, but it's not happening.
True.
We're going to head over to Detroit. Detroit Lions running back David Montgomery hurt his shoulder, did not return versus the Colts after exiting in the third quarter. So the weird thing is that Dan Campbell said, we have bigger fish to fry. Now, I know what you're thinking, like, he should be okay. Even David Montgomery said himself that he'd be okay. However, he's the first game on Thursday.
Oh, man, I don't like that.
Against those Chicago Bears. So
you know what's going to happen, Doc.
My thing is that if he plays, I feel like he's going to be limited. I think he's going to be on snap count. I think it's going to be a pain tolerance issue. I wouldn't be so excited to fire him up and set and forget it and just enjoy your turkey watching the Bears go down in flames. So monitor, but I would be cautious to even start him. But hey, we're in that playoff hunt, so do what you do. Next, we're gonna go over and stay in the NFC North. The NFC North. Close one. Green Bay Packers wide receiver Romeo Doubs was ruled out Sunday against the 49ers with a concussion. Like I just mentioned, it's not looking too great. Christian Watson looks like the next guy up, but we've already discussed this. Got to be careful with those Green Bay Packers. Heading over to the Indianapolis Colts, wide receiver Josh Downs, another shoulder injury, did not return after exiting late in the second half. And Ashton Dulin, his ankle was ruled out after exiting the second half. But the real story is here, Josh Downs, man, like he was having, he must be a little down himself. Okay. So Pity City, man, Pittman, fire him up. This is brutal, and this probably hurt a lot of teams this week. Las Vegas Raiders quarterback Gardner Minshew will miss the rest of the season after fracturing his collarbone versus the Broncos.
That sucks.
He was really gonna get those wins for you late in the season. Aiden O'Connell will be in. So only issue I have is Brock Bowers. He was really helping me out. We're going to go ahead and go over to the Washington Commanders running back, Brian Robinson's hurt his ankle. He didn't return after exiting the second half of Sunday's game versus the Cowboys. Now, Robinson has been dealing with a lot of issues. He's been banged up pretty bad this year, but he seems to be bouncing back. But depends on if it's a high ankle sprain or just he kind of rolled his ankle. But the problem is that nothing's really come out and nobody's talking. So kind of sucks. So he initially suffered an ankle injury in the first quarter, but re-entered the game by the end of the frame. Right? Okay, we don't care about right tackles. Fuck them. Speaking of running backs, the LA Chargers, J.K. Dobbins. Oh God, please.
Oh no.
Please. Was out. He hurt his knee. He was out for the rest of the second half on Monday night. If he can't play, guess the bus. I don't know, but T's and P's for him. I hope it's nothing major. But I wouldn't be too. I don't think he's going to play this week, folks. I'm sorry. Knee injuries are pretty rough. They're hard to bounce back. He could be in the same boat, kind of like Montgomery, where they have him kind of on account. The other bad thing is Austin Eckler once again got injured as well, too, with a concussion. Sorry, that was for the Commanders. My bad. Suffered a concussion in the fourth quarter. So he was actually evaluated again. Now, the crazy part is this is his second concussion this year, and now it's starting to get scary. So really watch out. Sorry, I had a flip-flop. Like, light bulb. Sometimes it happens. But them be the injuries. Back to you, JC.
That's it. All right, cool. Thank you so much, Doc. Appreciate you as always. And now, after the Doc leaves his entrance and his exit, and now it's time for the reason why you're here, funny homies. It's time for waivers. All right, funny homies, let's get right to it. There are a bunch of names on this waiver wire, not too much at quarterback. Hope we're going to go ahead and begin. And I'm excited for this first name. I know DL wants to talk all about him. That first guy we're going to talk about is none other than Caleb Williams. DL, what do you got on Caleb?
He was looking okay. Before we get into like what's all written out here, which I could recap. I don't even need to read this. He looked good. Can we talk about this? He looked good on Sunday.
Bro, and you know who didn't look good? Jaden Daniels.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, but I thought the Bears.
All this talk about Jaden Daniels being better. Ain't nobody saying shit now, huh? No one is fucking glazing Caleb now. They were glazing Jaden Daniels for weeks, but ain't nobody saying shit about Caleb right now, huh?
I like that glazing. I'm gonna steal that. You glazing, fool. Is that good or bad? Anyways, long story longer. So yeah, he looked really good. That pass to Swifty, bro. It came out like nowhere.
Jumped in the air and threw it. Like corked his body, jumped in the air and like uncorked. It was crazy.
I swear to that's holy, Swifty didn't know that was. I swear he didn't, because the way he reacted was like, "Oh shit, okay."
Yeah, it was on the money. It was on the money.
It was fire, baby. All right.
And people said that he couldn't do it. He couldn't do the same things he was doing in college in the NFL. He's doing the same exact thing. Now he is missing some checkdowns. Hopefully they can coach that into him. Don't hit the check down, because there are some plays where he holds the ball too long and misses the check down. But from a Bears perspective, dude, I couldn't be happier. Honestly, I don't even know what I'm watching. I can't even appreciate it completely. I just know he's great, but I'm like, God, Lee, like, how good is he gonna be?
No, I mean, this is I think Colin, what's his name? Colin Coward or whatever.
Yep.
The talking head. He was like, "This is
who knows him very well. He's connected with him."
And he's like, "This is what
USC,
you want to see."
California guy.
You want to see the Chicago Bears lose, but you want to see Caleb do well, because they're trying to get rid of Flus.
Yes, that's true.
If they were smart, anyways. We'll get into that.
Well, can I guess what you're gonna say? Can I guess?
Go ahead.
I'm gonna guess that you would say fire Flus as soon as possible and let the OC run the team and give him an audition to see if he could potentially be the next head coach.
The next
gives people a lot feels, a lot of Mike Tomlin kind of vibes. He's very good on the podium. He's very direct, and Caleb is talking about him highly.
And not only that, here's another little nugget, if you will. Like what's another best way to interview somebody? Give him a fucking 6 games and see what he can do. Like this is probably the only time, and I'm telling you, other teams are doing that. They're watching how he's like bringing this back, how he's doing it, because they're like, whoa, holy shit, he just took a shitstorm like the Chicago Bears and turned it around in 6 games. Like, maybe this is somebody that we should like take an interest in, or at least extend an interview towards. But what will the Bears do? They won't do that. No, they're gonna hire some no-name guy and think outside the box like they do every freaking year. And then we'll get another new OC, because our OC will probably get hired somewhere. And then Caleb will have to learn a new playbook. And then he's going to suffer, or the defense is going to go down. And then we're going to get another new like defensive coordinator. And then they're going to suck. And then we'll get another offensive head coach. And by that time, Caleb's just going to not be great. And then they're going to trade him. And then he's going to be awesome on that team.
Love it. Here's what I'll say about all that.
Chicago fucking Bears.
Yeah, it's a cycle. What's the cycle? Bears hire a quarterback. Bears sign draft a quarterback. Then they draft a coach. Coach doesn't like that quarterback, but Dustin buys the Bears jersey anyway. Then they fire the head coach. That quarterback gets another head coach, and then they're like, screw that quarterback. They let him go. They get a new quarterback, and then that head coach is like, I'm fired, and then you buy another jersey. It's bad.
Hey, bro, I think one of your friends is saying hi. Amir Parker?
Hey.
What's good?
I don't know. Hey, Amara. All right, yeah, I'm not sure who that is, but we'll go ahead and continue.
Getting back.
Let's get to the...
I really did. Okay, so the average, Caleb is averaging about 21.6 points per game, including 373 yards. Wow. 33 of those were rushing. 2 teams against Minnesota. So those are QB1 numbers. Now the problem is that he is going up against the Detroit Lions. But I think he can throw on them. It's going to be, I think Swifty's going to have an issue, but I think Caleb and the wide receivers will be all right. They going to be all right. He has roster at 45%, so good luck finding him. But if he is there, might be a great sneaky streamer or bench guy, especially with the bye apocalypse coming next week. What can you tell us about
next week? Before we get there, next week's bye apocalypse is bad. I had that pulled up the next week, week 14, and I know we'll get to it more next week when we get there. But prepare now if you can. Fantasy tip here. Throw it into our fantasy tips. I don't know if someone remember fantasy tips. Next week, the Baltimore Ravens are on bye. The Denver Broncos are on bye. So just to name a few, you're going to be without Lamar Jackson. You're going to be without Bo Nix at the very least. Those are 2 big quarterbacks for starters. Hey, what's up, Byron? Appreciate you. The next team we're going to be is going to be on bye is the Houston Texans. So you're without C.J. Stroud, no Nico Collins, no Tank Dell, no Joe Mixon. Baltimore Ravens again will be out of Derrick Henry. Broncos have a few guys out, a few notable names. The Colts are also on a bye, so no Anthony Richardson, no Michael Pittman, no Alec Pierce, no Josh Downs. The Patriots are on a bye. Drake May is going to be gone. No Ramondre Stevenson, just to name a few. And then finally, the Washington Commanders are on a bye. This will be the last bye of the year, but it is a huge bye with big playoff implications where most leagues' regular season ends in week 14, and it will affect a lot of teams. So, as an example, if you're going up against a team next week in week 14 that has only Lamar Jackson, if you want to be a shrewd GM, go out and get a backup or 2 and roster 3 quarterbacks and block the other GM from adding quarterbacks or a running back, or that's what you have to do. That's how you win. That's how you guarantee yourself, an opportunity to make it to the dance to get the girl.
Honestly, that's good stuff because it's kind of funny because I'm actually going up against the number one guy in our league, Mr. Auto Draft.
Oh yeah, Mr. Auto Draft.
And half his team is on a bye. It's gonna be great, and I'm doing just that. I may like just dump my whole bench, just grab everything. I won't do that, but I'm excited.
Won't do that, but I've done it. I've done it before. I've done it.
Hey, there's no rules except for these.
And hey. All right, let me go ahead and give you the next quarterback. We're gonna go ahead and recommend. It's a guy that we recommended early and then stopped recommending at all. But he's playing a little bit of he's playing a little bit better football. Will Levis, who's rostered in less than 5% of fantasy leagues. Now, Will Levis is a little reckless. He reminds me a lot of Jay Cutler, just not as talented, which says a lot because
he's got an arm though. He's got
good ups and really bad downs. He's got an arm, but a lot of guys have an arm. Jamarcus Russell had an arm, did nothing with it. So, Will Levis has cost his real life team big this season, but in fantasy land, he's been pretty solid, maybe good actually. The second-year passer is averaging 16.9 fantasy points per game since returning to the starting lineup in Week 10. He's still struggling to take care of the ball, averaging 1 giveaway per game during that time, but he's scoring enough points to be fantasy QB2. And for some teams in a deeper league, maybe your QB1. The schedule sets up nicely for him the remainder of the season, where he plays against the Commanders, the Jags, the Bengals, the Colts, and then the Jags again. So, from me to you, what I would say is give him a chance. Maybe you could sneak out a 20-plus point per game performance, but also know that his floor is not high. His floor is pretty low. You may get an 8 or 9 point performance, but the upside is there.
Yeah, we're gonna go over to running. I'm not okay. I will give you that. He does have a good season. If you're desperate, sure. To the running backs, we're off to the Pittsburgh Steelers with Jalen Warner. I like this guy. He's rostered at 47%, so he may be a little bit tricky to actually find out there. He did take 57% of the snaps, while Najee Harris. I saw somebody start Najee. They started Najee over Chuba Hubbard. Poor guy. But anyways, Warren actually led the Steelers with 45 rushing yards and had a season high of 5 targets. He's averaging nearly like 12 points, so that's a little bit higher than last week when we recommended him when he was at 9. So there you go. Which means he should be in the conversation for a flex option, especially in deeper leagues. But he is in that timeshare, so kind of pay attention to that. Pittsburgh is playing the Bengals, who have a defense that will not be confused with a shutdown unit. So, i.e., you can run on the Bengals.
This is true. This is true. Is that all you got?
That's all I had for Warren.
All right, cool. No worries. All right, Deal. Next guy I'm going to go ahead and recommend is none other than Gus Edwards. I'm going to let you take this one because I feel like it has personal implications. It has personal implications for you. I know this. So what you got on Gus?
All right. So he is rostered at 29%. J.K. Dobbins obviously is dealing with his knee injury, which means that Edwards will likely be one of the most popular pickups on waivers this week. It would be a bummer to see Dobbins' inspirational comeback story be interrupted, but Edwards would be on line for a much larger workload if Dobbins actually misses more times. Edwards gained 11 yards on 9 carries against the Ravens, but he did score his first TD of the season. The Falcons that lost. What the hell? Okay, so the Falcons are LA's opponent in Week 13. It's just really weird how they put that. So they're kind of right in the middle against fantasy running backs. So keep an eye on Dobbins' status. Please, God, please let him be okay. Because Gus the Bus, I don't want him taking over. But yeah, if he does, Edwards' potential workload should be very exciting. The only thing that I will say to you guys, or to the phony homies out there, is one thing to kind of keep in mind is that the LA Chargers have actually been using quite a bit of different running backs. We saw Haskins get involved. We've seen a couple other no-namers just kind of rotate in. So That would be my only hesitation, but absolutely, if he's out there, I would grab him. As we've been mentioning for the last couple of weeks, it's a really good idea to kind of grab some of these backup running backs, as we're seeing some, which we haven't been talking about, like these running backs are starting to get injured, and they're getting injured at the worst possible time, towards the end of the season, towards your playoffs, towards the big show, your Super Bowl. So keep an eye on those backups. I would say the backup for the Bills would be a good one, and I would say also the backup for the Jets as well too. I did grab Trey Benson of the Arizona Cardinals just because, in case they're trying to see what they got or work him in a little bit more, or James Connors, who hasn't ever finished a full season. Just want to be safe than sorry. JC?
James Conner has finished a full season, but he's always hurt, so I'll agree with you.
Well, that's what I meant. Like, he misses a week. I don't mean he's out for the whole season. He misses sometimes.
No, I hear you. Interesting. Blake Snell signed a 5-year deal to join the Dodgers. Fuck the Dodgers, man. They just get stronger and fucking stronger every year.
What about Ameer Abdullah? What do you think?
Fuck the Yankees. Sorry, I just saw it come across. It's big news in baseball. Next, we're going to go ahead and recommend is Ameer Abdullah. He's rostered in less than 10% of leagues, but that is going to change. Congrats if you had Abdullah in your lineup last week. He was a top 10 fantasy football running back. So here's what we got about Ameer Abdullah.
Only took 7 years.
With the season high. Whatever. He scored in double-digit fantasy points in each of the last 2 games, including a season-high 17.5 on Sunday. Now, the question is, can this continue? And I don't know if he can. The schedule gets a little bit harder. He goes up against the Chiefs this coming week, who have been one of the hardest defenses on running backs. And he has, a chance to potentially be fantasy relevant for at least another week. So we'll see. He's at least worth a shot because Madison and Zamir White are both out for another game coming up. Deal, what are your thoughts on Ameer Abdullah? You think he'll have a little bit of staying power? Do you think he's got a chance to be productive for at least 1 more week, maybe 2?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, really, the Raiders' backfield has been kind of meh, like very mid. So I'm glad he's getting a shot, and honestly, putting a tape together for another team. Really, you're absolutely right. Like going against the Chiefs. Now the Chiefs aren't as stout of a defense as they were in years past, but you're absolutely right. They're shutting down running backs left and right. Yeah, so I'd be cautious, but hey, I mean, if you're kind of in the same boat with me, where I have Kareem Hunt, who's really any day now, he's probably going to be done, and I have J.K. Dobbins. Still got another week, and yeah, he's probably done. J.K. Dobbins is dealing with his knee, and you got Brian Robinson, who's been awesome in PPR, dealing with an ankle. You're going to need backup, and once again, you got to learn how to pivot early, not late. You don't want to be in a Super Bowl and just like look and be like, I'm screwed because I got Hopkins going in my flex. And yeah, a wing and a prayer. Next guy I'm really excited to talk about, we talked about him last week as well too, is Mr. Roschon Johnson. He is 4% rostered. Johnson gained 12 yards on 3 touches in week 12, so you might be wondering, what the heck is he doing in here, right? Well, the second-year back has scored a touchdown in consecutive games and has 6 of the team's 8 red zone carries in the last 2 weeks, while playing in an offense that is on an upswing, guys. We're talking about it. The biggest thing about this is exactly that. I wouldn't recommend, starting players that are so touchdown dependent, because you never know what can happen. And especially with Swifty in the mix, obviously he's the handcuff. So Rojo would be a good handcuff, if you will. But the Bears are going up against the Detroit Lions, who are probably top 5 against the run. So I think they're going to be kind of like zinging the ball left and right here. But he would be a good flex, right? Yeah, he's averaged about nearly 10 points or his past 2 outings. Yeah, I would say he's like a pickup or a handcuff for if you have Swifty, and he's like I said, possibly flex. He'll be playing this Thursday, which is the early game, or this Thursday, which is the early game for Thanksgiving. I'll be bearing down myself, but yeah, Rojo, very touchdown dependent. Might be worth it if you're hurting, or if you're thinking about next week, week 14, might not be a bad little stash.
Speaking of hurting, the next guy we're going to recommend is Jeremy McNichols. Deep name,
wait.
guy that used to play for the Bears.
Mm-hmm. Before you start, mm-hmm. To me, I would say Gus Edwards and this guy are probably the top two biggest waiver wire ads this week. Tell us about
Edwards and Jeremy McNichols. Interesting. Okay. Well, let's see. Yeah. If you have Brian Robinson Jr. or Austin Eckler or both on your roster, McNichols should be on your radar this week. Robinson exited the second half of Sunday's game with an ankle injury, and Eckler left with a concussion in the fourth quarter. If both are not able to play against the Titans and their lowly defense, then McNichols would be the RB1. So I don't think it's the greatest matchup, but there's a chance that McNichols could get double-digit fantasy points and get double-digit touches because that's what you need. You need opportunity. Double-digit touches. That's what you need. If he's going to start against the Commanders, you need a running back. McNichols might be your guy. DL?
Yeah, I totally agree. The only thing I would say is that, like, the rest of the season, like, the Commanders they have a tough schedule. So
they do.
If you are going to grab this guy, this would probably be the best time to grab him. And then hope and pray that the other running backs get better. Well, I don't even know if you'd have to hope and pray, but he's a good streamer, I would say. He's a good streamer, especially if you're in a pinch, for sure. Mm-hmm. So let's talk about those wide receivers. We're going to start things off with Jerry Jeudy, which we've been once again talking about. He's coming back. He's being that number one wide receiver. He is rostered at 51%. And we all know that Jameis Winston loves to sling that ball.
Bro, have you been seeing him on social media?
I love him. I love him.
Bro, he's the best.
Snow Angels. I love it.
Oh, my God.
He's just so country. He's a country dude.
Best. Bro, he's the best. Oh, I got.
Kim. Oh, thank you. Yeah, let's go, Dicka. That's why it's framed. Thank you. I like it too. Thanks for tuning in. And keep those comments coming, guys. We love it. We love a little bit of a break. But getting back to the Jerry Jeudy, 51% roster guy, he scored 12. Okay, he scored 12 points on each of his last 4 games. So he's averaging about 17 points in that span. He's obviously has wide receiver 1 production. And he's, getting it done. But he is going up against the Chargers and the Steelers, which is on the schedule next. Now he gets a revenge game against the Broncos, who traded him to Cleveland in the offseason. Denver's defense has been stinging
really good,
to wide receivers. So, who is it, Surtain?
Patrick Surtain, yeah, man.
Thank you.
He can probably shut down Cedric. He'll be probably shadowing him, Cedric Tillman, the whole game, which is why Jerry Jeudy.
Yeah. Anywho, so this is definitely somebody that if he's out there, grab him. Just because I think with the way that Jameis has been like just slinging that ball, man, like we talked about last week, he's just like instead of check down, he's like, I'm gonna chuck it up and see what happens. So love it. Any extra little nuggets you want to give on Mr. Jeudy?
No, you made a great point with Surtain. He's a shutdown corner, kind of like Jalen Johnson would be for the Bears, to give you a little local spin. If you have one of these guys going, as you see my son walking behind me back here.
What up, man?
If you have one of these, if you have one of these guys going, what I would say is this: Surtain's probably going to shut down or at least shadow for the most of the game, probably 60-70%. Cedric Tillman, so that leaves Jeudy to be the guy to eat. Maybe you'll see a tight end too. Maybe Njoku. Yeah, who knows? Let's see what happens. All right, next guy we're going to go ahead and recommend DL. Keon Coleman of the Buffalo Bills, who is a shade over 50% rostered. The rookie has missed nearly a full month after a wrist injury he suffered in Week 9. But don't forget what he was doing prior to that injury. Coleman averaged 17 fantasy points per game in week 7 and 8, and he was clearly developing a rapport with Josh Allen. Keep an eye on his status for this week with the Bills coming off a bye, which means they probably schemed up some special stuff to try to get the rookie involved. He doesn't have a great matchup in week 13 against the 49ers defense, but injuries have taken a toll on the Bills and on the 49ers, leaving Keon Coleman left in the left to play. So, DL, what do you think about Keon Coleman?
Yeah, I mean, I think he's going to get the production. It's just once again, and we probably should have done that. We probably should have like really looked at schedules and seen what teams actually have the toughest schedules. The 49ers, obviously, they don't have the worst schedule. They're actually favored in most games, but without Brock Purdy there, who knows, right? We didn't talk about those duds. Anyways, I like Coleman. I like Coleman in this week for sure. And yeah, I mean, Josh Allen is starting to get a rapport with him because he's a rookie, man. Like, it takes some time. I would say usually by like the second year, sophomore year for wide receivers, that's when you really start seeing them kind of come on. But yeah, once again, I mean, if you're in a pinch, dude, I'd rather have that type or a piece of that offense versus a Jerry. I mean, I like Jerry Jeudy, but I'd rather have that piece of the offense versus Cleveland Browns. Speaking of a piece of the offense maybe you don't want, those Carolina Panthers. We got two guys
Bryce Young
here.
looked decent. Bryce Young has looked decent.
He did take a step. He took a step. I will give you that.
Oh, you could see it.
Yeah. So I will give you that. He looked a lot better. That's why we're recommending these next two guys. We got Adam Thielen, who's rostered at 9%, and Xavier Legette. Oh, thanks, JC. You got the little thanks, man. Xavier Legette. So, and he's only rostered at 7%. So basically, like, Thielen returned from his hamstring injury that had kept him out since September, man. But you also had David Moore. See, this is where it gets tricky because now all of a sudden David Moore is kind of in the mix as well too, because he had his moment on Sunday with 21 fantasy points. Legette had 9.6, Adam Thielen had 8.7. Are the Panthers pass catching to targets to catch this week, especially if Coker remains out? Legette has posted 11 plus fantasy points 4 times in his debut season and is averaging 11 points per game in the last 4. Thielen had the longest day with a 36-yard catch against the stout Chiefs defense. He gets more of a favorable draw against the Buccaneers in week 13. So, stream. He would be both these guys would be really good like streaming candidates. I wouldn't expect them to like give you like that output like a wide receiver 1 or 2, but definitely if they're going up against the Buccaneers, which we kind of recommend their defense. So I'd be cautious. So long and short of it, don't expect a lot, but maybe like 10 points? Could give you that like 10, maybe 15 right in there. I think you're muted, brother.
Sorry about that. Somewhere in the 8 to 12 point range.
Okay. I'm glad you had that little red light because I was like, oh my God, it's happening again.
Yeah, like the new stuff. Got this new.
Yeah, I like it. Well, what do you want to talk about? A Tennessee Titan wide receiver.
Yeah, there's a guy. I can't believe we're going to say this. Nick Westbrook-Ikhine. Okay, so he has been solid for the end of seasons for 2 seasons. He's rostered in less than 5% of leagues. And my buddy Julio, probably if he's watching, is going to rave about this because he tried throwing him in a deal with me, and I said, hell no, he ain't doing nothing, and he immediately started playing really well. Westbrook-Ikhine has broke 50 receiving yards exactly 1 time this season. Not necessarily what you're looking for in a fantasy football wide receiver, but it's hard to pass up on this guy because he scored a touchdown in 6 of his last 7 games. He's averaging a highly respectable 13.3 fantasy points per game in his last 5 games. And yeah, he might be touchdown dependent, but he just keeps on scoring. He's got a great matchup this week against a crappy Commanders defense. And I would probably be very excited to try to get him in my lineups.
Sure.
A touchdown in fucking 6 of his last 7 is insane.
Yeah, but like, It's weird though, because
6
like
points.
if you but if you really looked at his production, right, like it's not that great. Like he's very touchdown dependent. Like the actual yardage is low, but he scored a touchdown pretty much in every single game, which you kind of mentioned. We got some comments real quick before I move on to our next guy. 3 weeks ago, and he's been okay. All right.
Just saying.
All right.
I'd use a good
Okay,
name.
Joey.
Saying.
All right. And you said, well, okay. I'm maybe I'm drinking the Kool-Aid a little bit here. I like it. Okay. We're gonna talk about our next and last wide receiver for those waiver wires, Devon Valet.
Right.
That's it. Okay.
Did it.
No, that's cool. All right, whatever, bro. Anyways, Valet saw a season high of 9 targets on Sunday and finished with a career best of 80 yards receiving. Whoo! With Mr. Bo Nix. That's his guy. He's averaging about 12.8 points per game in the last 3 games and draws the Cleveland defense in Week 13. The Browns D was better in Week 12, but had struggled against fantasy receivers this year. Now, were they better because they were like focused, or did the elements play a role? You tell me. Because George Pickens,
fair.
George Pickens literally said they suck. They're not a good team, and it's because it was snowing. So I'm excited for this kid. Once again, now you got me thinking, because I don't know if I should go with Nick Westbrook Akine.
Yep.
Akine or Valet Sassoon.
You got it. You said it right.
Valet Sassoon. That's how I remember it. I've been doing it.
Oh, Valet Sassoon, this guy.
Hey, man.
This guy. All right, y'all. Let's jump over to tight ends and wrap this fucking show up. We're going to go ahead and go with Zach Ertz, deal. I can't believe we're still talking about Zach Ertz. It's been forever, but he's holding it down for the old guys.
Mr. Garbage Time. That's what I call him.
Man, he is. Honestly, he is.
Mr. Garbage Time.
Dallas Goedert. I feel like they're both old teammates, and they do it at the end. He's rostered in a little bit over 50% of leagues, but we had to recommend him in case he's available in yours. There's a good chance that Ertz is on a roster, but if he's being left there on your waiver wire, welcome this guy to your Thanksgiving table. Listen, phony homies, he's not flashy, but he's a healthy eater, and most of the time, he's ready to go. Since Week 8, only Travis Kelce and Brock Bowers have been targeted more. And what do we always tell you? This is all about opportunity. He's posted double-digit fantasy points in 5 of his last 7 games, including 15 in the last 2. Jaden Daniels has been finding the tight end, and he connected with Ertz 6 times for 38 yards and a touchdown. And if you're in a PPR league, hey, I'll take those 3 points, And if you're in a full point, that's 6 points just on receptions, okay? Just on receptions plus that touchdown. Look, he's not super sexy, but Ertz is one of the most reliable fantasy football tight ends and somebody we would recommend.
Literally, he was my backup for a long time until I found Jonnu Smith, and then I dropped him like a bad habit. But like Zach Ertz,
who's been killing, by the way.
Honestly, but Zach Ertz literally helped me climb the ranks because of that garbage time. Like he is that guy. He's that garbage time guy. Well, he's good. I'm not trying to be like, he's like washed, but he can get it done. And especially tight ends. Tight ends are starting to come on a little bit stronger now. However, he's better than a lot of those. I think he's like in, I want to say top 20. All
right, next is my guy. I love it. That's a tight end. I love having him on my bench behind. Hey, that would be sick. That would be.
This guy is not my guy because I have Kamara. So we're talking about, if you didn't know, Taysom Hill, who's rostered at 28%.
Which is crazy.
Last we saw, Hill was running just right over the Browns to the tune of 138 yards with 3 TDs and 7 carries. Oh, and he also had the team's high target, that is, 10 times in the game, making 8 catches for 50 yards. And he also completed a pass. Yes, Hill can do it all. Now the Rams will have to study the tape well ahead into Sunday's meeting. So it's up to New Orleans to come up with some new wrinkles. The upside is too great to pass up on the chance of Hill, and if he's still available in your leagues, which he's not in our home league because JC stole him. Sucks.
That's my guy though. I always have a feeling when he's about to pounce. Just when the fantasy tight end wasteland gets at the most wastiest, I just made up a word, then you pick him up because I feel like that's when he goes off. So
yeah, but it just sucks, bro, because he's just a vulture. They always do it. Like they'll give Kamara the whole work, right? Just kind of like he's almost like a Warren, right? He's like a Warren where like he's running and then all of a sudden they pop in like, oh, Najee Harris, go ahead, take this. And
like that's what take this away.
Go ahead, Taysom. You got fresh legs. Go ahead and just run over this guy and just grab some pine, Alvin. Mm-hmm. Anyways, tell us about Noah Gray.
Yeah, Noah Gray rostered in less than 5% of leagues. Look, week 11, where he went off, wasn't an anomaly. Okay, Gray followed up his 2-touchdown performance against the Bills with another 2-touchdown performance against the Panthers. And yeah, the Panthers kind of suck, whatever. But the guy who had 4 touchdown catches in his first 3 NFL seasons now has 4 grabs in the past 2 weeks. It's really difficult to buy into the idea that Travis Kelce's backup is worth more than he is. But Andy Reid could be deciding to scheme him open. It could be a kind of a scheme thing. It could be they're using Travis as a decoy to get Noah Gray open and using Travis more in, I don't know, kind of like those to set a pick, kind of like in the NBA kind of settings. It's entirely possible. Or, just decoying him. Entirely possible. But what we will say is this. If you're hurting at tight end, if you haven't had production, if you got a guy like Sam Laporta sitting there, and you're like, I can't start this guy confidently. Noah Gray could be your guy, and maybe he gets a touchdown or nothing, like Laporta.
I would say if you're struggling at tight end and you're in a deep league and this guy's just kind of sitting there, I would grab him because I just feel like every time like Noah Gray has a great game, we have this discussion like, oh, is Travis done? What's going on? Da 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 da. And then all of a sudden, right, either Xavier Worthy goes off or Hopkins. And then the next game it's Travis Kelce. And you're like, all right, here we go. And then bam, Noah Gray comes out of nowhere. But he's always fucking open in the end zone. Like I swear to God, he's just like, hello, here I am. Here I am.
Hey, I'm wide open. You have all these weapons. He's not gonna look at me, and he's open. True.
Thank you.
Hey, there it is. Let me give you one more deep one, okay? Just because you brought that up.
Deep one? Okay.
Luke Schoonmaker. Dallas. Who the heck is... Yeah. Hey, look, Jake Ferguson has been dealing with a concussion, and it's a short week this week. He had a concussion last about almost 2 weeks now, but it's a short week. He's not going to get the full 14 days to recover from the concussion. And the Dallas Cowboys really have nothing to play for, so I would not, doubt, that they would just say, hey, we're going to sit you. We're going to give you another week. Shoemaker had a good game last week. The guy finished with 11 fantasy points for 2 consecutive weeks, DL. For 2 consecutive weeks. I could definitely see Shoemaker be a solid tight end. Yeah, that's right. See, there you go. Ferguson is out. I highly, highly, highly suggest going out and getting Shoemaker, even more than Noah Gray. But that's only if Ferguson is out. You'll have to play him on Thanksgiving because the Cowboys always play on Thanksgiving. But let's be real. Cooper Rush throws to 2 guys, the tight end and CeeDee fucking Lamb.
Yeah, that's right. That's absolutely right. QBs always love their tight ends because they're safety blankets, and they're usually right there, and they usually can get it done. And especially with a guy like this, like where defenses, I don't think are like, really. They're not overly preparing for it. They're not going to like bracket him all over the field. I think that's a good one. I like it. What do you think about defenses this week?
No, I'm going to let you take this one. This is your boys.
Thank you. We recommended his about 3 weeks ago. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, when they were on a bye, I grabbed him in most of our leagues, except for mainly because JC had him. But they have a really, really easy schedule. They're playing their butts off because they're trying to win their division and definitely trying to get into the playoffs for sure. So this is definitely an opportunity, I would say. that you want to grab if you can, because they're only rostered at 43%. So yeah, and they're going up against, let's see. So the schedule, once again, their schedule is this, right? They got next coming up is the Panthers, then the Raiders, and the Carolina offense is playing much better of late. The streaming pickings look sim at DST or defenses this week, but the Bucks are looking to be one of the best from a rough core. So yeah, I'm excited for them. That's why I grabbed them. That's why I stashed them. I think they're going to help me, just get it through. Just don't forget that until they produce a total of 13 fantasy points in its fourth game prior to Sunday's blowout. So they produced 13 points. Sorry, rather.
Yeah, they did. No
Gotcha.
worries, no worries.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm gonna let you take the next one. The Cowboys.
Both of them, huh? Okay, they're rostered at 17%. Dallas actually woke up in a big way against the Commanders, which looked kind of unstoppable for a while there until last week. And they had the number one defense of fantasy football with 22 points. Now the Cowboys get their shot against Tommy Cutlets, Tommy DeVito.
Hey.
Yeah, with the Giants paying them a visit on Thanksgiving. A punchless New York attack is averaging, so their offense is basically averaging 12.3 real life points per game in the last 6 contests, scoring 7 or fewer in halves. Those outlining Mac Zimmer's D has not posted double-digit points in consecutive games this season, but a golden opportunity awaits on Turkey Day. So, and it's the Cowboys. Don't they always win on Thanksgiving? I just feel like they always, like, it's America's team. Like, I don't know. Maybe the NFL is scripted. But no, just kidding. Yeah, both these defenses, I would definitely roster. Pay attention to that. Look at rankings for kickers and defenses. You're not going to hear a lot of fantasy people actually talk about that. But honestly, that can really help you win, especially if you're on the cusp, if you're on the bubble, an extra 10 or 20 points. Could really push you over. Oh yeah, weather is a huge aspect too, because we're getting into Chicagoland area. It's supposed to snow, so yeah, check the weather, the conditions.
Sucks.
I mean, we saw what happened with the Cleveland Browns, right?
Oh, dude, that snow game was awesome.
Yeah, I liked it. A lot of people were down on it. Like, every team should play in the dome. Every team, da da da. And I was just like, what the fuck? What's wrong with it? What has happened? What has happened? Oh, and Joey just wanted to end on this because he's paid it. Thank you, Joey. You're on every word we say. This is awesome. The Giants have been the most friendly to defenses this season too. I think I'm gonna scoop them up on the waivers now. Excellent recommendation. Let's go, Joey.
Love that.
Hey, Joey, come back next week and let us know how you did. Appreciate that. All right, man.
Love that. Yeah, let's put a bow on this. Remember, phony homies. Yes. Ask your Star City questions for Thursday's games. It's going to be a nice slate of games. I can't wait. I love Thanksgiving, man. A lot of people
and Friday, too.
I love Thanksgiving. It's just like the most chill. You get to eat. You get to max. You get to just sit there, put your hand down your pants, unloose your belt, and just kind of sit there and watch football. It's the best.
And no one can yell at you. Your wife can't yell at you.
And no one's going to say, no one's going to say a fucking word.
Nope. You're going to be like, all right, we're watching this. Leave me alone. Yeah, it's awesome.
That's it.
I love it.
That's it. I'm not a cranberry sauce guy, though. I'll throw that out there.
I do. I like in the can. Yeah. It's got to have like the marks, not like actual where like someone really put effort into it. Oh,
yeah, like a jelly kind of thing.
Yeah, and my other favorite, okay, so 2 things real quick that I'm bringing for Thanksgiving. Number 1, green bean casserole. My mother-in-law,
dude,
hasn't made it.
My girl's making it.
It's awesome. It's
first
awesome.
time. Is it? I've never had good green bean casserole.
Number 1 is super simple. It's just cream of mushroom, beans, and then we do the onions on top, like the little.
Yeah. See, I never had that. Damn, y'all season your food. I love it. I love it.
I've been around, bro.
Hey.
And the second thing, I'm making deviled eggs, bro.
Okay, that's what you asked the other day. Okay.
And I'm putting bacon on. Putting little piece of bacon on top.
Okay, I gotta ask my boy Gerald, one of my boys that plays 2K. what his mac and cheese recipe is. He told me he makes some mean mac and cheese. You know, G, I need to know G's mac and cheese. You gotta get some of that soul mac and cheese, you know. So, but we're making green bean casserole for the fam. So, you know. Oh, hey, thank you, Joey.
Thanks, Joey.
Thank
happy
you.
Thanksgiving to you too, bro.
And happy Thanksgiving to all of you phony homies. We really appreciate that. I was telling you, hey man, me and Joey gotta kick it.
It's there. You gotta, cool. You know, just a little bit. I'm not like,
I'll try it next time. Dude, yeah, I think I overdid it. Maybe I put enough like it was gravy, and I fucked that up.
No, so don't do that. You just like a little bit, and then you put together the bread with the potatoes and the thing.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
No, we go all out. We do it all. We do it up. We do it up. Can't wait though. Honestly, cannot wait. DL, for the phony homies over there, let's remind them one last time where they can follow us on Twitter.
Tweet FFG.
Exactly. And if you want to get those start to say questions over to us on Wednesday or early Thursday before the slate of Thursday games, Friday for Saturday, Sunday games, DL, what is the hashtag we use to answer those questions?
Yeah, absolutely. Please be sure to use hashtag AskUsFFG.
Finally, if you want to send over emails, we will answer those emails. Trust me, I check my emails like a madman. I try to do the 0 email rule, which I never win, but I try. DL, what is the email that we use?
AskUsFFG@gmail.com.
And finally, if you want to call me, wish me a happy Thanksgiving, or text me directly, DL, what's the phone number?
Or show them your cranberry sauce. You can call JC at 708-655-4508.
Don't show me your cranberry sauce.
I'm going to show you my cranberry sauce, dude.
No, that's fucked up, bro. That's fucked up. Anyway, thank you, phony homies, for tuning in to another fantastic episode for DL and his mediocre fantasy advice. I'm JC. We'll catch you on another great episode of the Fake Football Guy Show. Like, share, subscribe, and
smash
the notification.